Hello, BNI. This is BNI Connect training presented by Delisa Lee of DJL Training and Brian Scott of Aggie Technologies on behalf of the Bull City Business Leaders chapter of BNI. Today's topics, we're going to cover how to log into BNI, enter referral slips, enter one-to-ones, enter money on the board and CEUs, and how to review and edit your entries. We'll start by going to bniconnect.com. This is the login page for your global BNI Connect. If you don't know your password or you don't remember your username, please click the Forgot Password or Username link. You'll be prompted for your email address. This has to be your email address that you used when you applied for membership. It may not be the same as your current email address if that has changed. So you need to enter your original, we'll call it, email address and enter the CAPTCHA, and your password will be emailed to you. If you don't know what that is, or you're not able to get past this point, contact our current area director, Steve Hand. His contact information is on the screen there, and his office will help you get logged in. So let's enter your username and password and click the sign in button. That'll bring you to the home page. One of the things I'll highlight on the home page is this area right here, where you can go to change your password, update your profile page, update your photo or logo, and your privacy settings. Another good link right here is the personal participation report. It's like a PALMS report, but not for your chapter. It's all about you. So that's a great one to look at weekly or monthly and see where you are, in addition to the statistics document that you receive from your vice president. Wherever you are in the system, wherever you've navigated to, if you want to come back to this page, you can always click the home button right there. You don't have to use the back button. You can just hit the home icon and you'll be right back on this page. Let's scroll down. These are the links that we're going to focus on. The first few are about submitting. We're going to cover the second half, the review links, secondary, but let's start with the submit area, specifically referral slips. How to enter a referral slip. So when you click on that link, it takes you to a page that looks familiar if you are familiar with the paper referral slip. On the paper referral slip, though, you were guided as to which parts to fill out, but you may have left something blank that was critical. On the electronic version, though, notice that several fields have the red asterisk, meaning they are required fields. So in particular, you have to enter a phone number. Even if you don't enter an email address, the phone number is a required field. Also, so after you fill that out, you're going to see, it doesn't have to ask you for your name because you're logged in, but it'll ask you to whom you gave this referral. So you select a member of your chapter there on the to field. Fill it out. And if the person to whom you gave the referral is not in your chapter, click the Search Cross Chapter button, and you'll be given a list of the other chapters in your area, and you can select a member of another chapter. The thermometer on the side there, now this is specific for the Bull City business leaders. We disregard the fact that the thermometer says tepid and hot. That is not how we define 1 through 5. So on the thermometer here, use the thermometer in the way that your chapter defines 1 through 5. At the bottom there, you're going to click the submit button. If you're only entering one, you would click submit. If you have multiple referral slips to enter in one session, it's easier to click save and new. It'll save, it'll submit and save the current slip, and it will refresh the screen, the same screen, blank, so you can enter your second, third, fourth referral. After you click submit, an email is sent to the person to whom you are giving the referral. But this is not to replace the more personal email that you send to them directly, probably an introduction email to two parties, one a member of your chapter and the second person being the referral. Still send that email because you're using it to introduce two people. But when you enter into the system, BNI Connect will send an email to your referral partner letting them know that you've made this entry. Let's take a look at back on the home screen, because this will come up automatically after you hit the submit button. Let's take a look at one-to-one slips. Again, you're going to select the member to whom you're giving a one-to-one and fill out this form. If that person is not in your chapter, click the Search Other Chapters cross-chapter button and select the appropriate member. And you're about to hit submit, but let's answer a couple of questions. Number one, who should submit the one-to-one slip? You know, two of you met, and you cannot both Well, you could, but it is not necessary or advisable for both of you to submit this one-to-one slip. So I recommend the person who initiated the meeting would, by default, be the person to make the entry. You can, of course, discuss it, and the other person could make the entry, but by default, that's probably a good rule of thumb. Another question that often comes up here is, how do I enter a one-to-one with an applicant? Currently, as of the recording of this video, there is no option on the drop-down for the met with field to select an applicant. However, our chapter, we've been advised to contact our vice president. Our vice president is able to make an entry for you so that you get credit for a one-to-one with applicants, because after all, you are discussing how to grow each other's businesses, and we want to give you credit for that. So those are 2 points regarding, and again, if you're entering more than one one-to-one, you would click Submit Multiple. No email is sent as a result of you entering a one-to-one. You know that you met, so the system is not going to email either one of you, but you can both see these one-to-ones when you log in and look at your own respective reports. Let's go back to the front screen and check out how to enter money on the board. Thank you for closed business. This sheet here, you're going to select again the person to whom you're giving credit for a profit that you made on a referral. And fill out this form here. When you get to the amount field, only enter the digits and round up or round down, but no symbols, no decimals, and no cents. Okay? Digits only. The business type, new or repeat. The default is new. Now, repeat does not mean has this referral partner given you a referral before. It means has the person from whom you made profit done business with you before and you've made profit with them before. So if somebody purchased a subscription with you and you make $2,000 or $20,000 or $2,000 a month from that subscription, that is repeat business. And you would in fact enter that each month. Don't enter the annual amount just once. We can't tell that's recurring. We can't tell that's repeat business. So a subscription, for example, you would come in here each month and you would enter the amount of profit as repeat business for that subscription. Referral types, tier 1, 2, and 3. Tier 1 is an inside referral. The person who is responsible for money on the business, the person who made a purchase with you that resulted in profit, they are in your chapter for a tier 1. Most of our referrals, money on the board, is for a tier 2. You make money off of business done with somebody outside of the chapter. A tier 3 is also outside of the chapter, but it's a spin-off from an original referral. So if you were introduced to Bob, and Bob introduced you to Sue, Bob and Sue are not in the chapter, and Sue does business with you, you make money off of Sue, referred by Bob, who was referred by a member of your chapter, Sue is a tier 3 referral, a spin-off referral. The comments area is confidential. It can only be seen by you. What you put in the comments area cannot be seen by your fellow member who gave you the money on the board, and it cannot be seen by your vice president. This is completely confidential, and you want to put notes here that mean something to you so that when you look at a report 6 months, 12 months later, each of these entries still have meaning for you. So we're going to now click the submit button. Again, if you had multiple, you would click submit multiple. A quick question on the screen here. I am giving credit for money on the board to Brian Scott. My profit on that deal for Excel training was $1,000. Is Brian going to receive an email? Yes, Brian is going to receive an email notifying him that someone entered money on the board for him. Will the email to Brian contain the amount, the $1,000? The answer is no, and that's done for confidentiality reasons. Attorneys in particular, they are not disclosing, they cannot disclose, first of all, who their clients are. Secondly, how much money they made profiting on a deal. So not only does it not reveal the amount to the person receiving the email, but will the email to Brian even contain my name or the attorney's name? No, it does not. So the email is sent, but there is no amount and there is no referral person's name in the email. But Brian won't be in the dark, right? Because I'm communicating with him. He is up to speed on the referral, how it's going, that we met. There's potential business. Hey, we closed business. Hey, I made money on that deal, and thank you for that. So I would reveal to Brian, I would share with him as much as I can based on my industry standards. Again, it's a little different for attorneys, but that's why the system is set up that way. Email sent, but not a lot of information, and certainly not your comments. Again, that's just confidential for you. So that email goes out. Let's check out CEUs. When you enter a CEU, you come to this screen and you select what type of education unit did you attend? Did you go to BNI training, maybe at the local chamber? If that's the case, there's our line right there, member success training. You enter a 1. The number there that you're entering is how many occurrences of this training did you attend? You went to 1 training, you enter a 1. You're going to get 2 credits. You don't put a 2 in that box, you put a 1 in that box. You went to 1 training and you'll get 2 credits for that. Now with our particular chapter, with the Bull City Business Leaders, a CEU is also a power sphere meeting or a power team meeting. At our chapter, we don't count power spheres as 1-to-1. We used to in the past, but currently a power team meeting or power sphere meeting is a CEU. Now, do you have to come to the system and enter a CEU for attending a power team meeting every time you come to the 10 o'clock meeting? The answer is no. For the Bull City Business Leaders, power team or power sphere meetings, attendance is taken by the power team leader. And that leader will enter the attendance and CEUs for each person who attended and arrived on time and stayed for the entire meeting. So the only entries that you're making here primarily are when you go to BNI training 6 months before your renewal, or if you pop in throughout the year, those are the ones you're going to enter. But you can see there are different types of CEUs, so you may want to be familiar with that list so that you don't miss out on credits that you've earned. Hit the submit button to complete that screen there. So we covered the new entries. Now let's look at the other links down below. How do you review and edit your entries? And we'll start with money on the board. When you make a click on one of the review links there, a calendar option shows up. You can accept the default entries there, and you can also change them, of course, if you want to look at a particular week or a particular month range. I'm going to accept the defaults and click go. And at the bottom of the screen there, this is the money on the board given report. At the bottom of the screen, you can see the name of the person to whom I've given credit, Brian Scott, and the amount, the tier level, the comments, again, only visible to me. And the last column there is the Palm status, and it currently says draft. At some point, your vice president, every week actually, has to go into the system and approve or confirm everyone's entries. So whether you're entering referrals or money on the board and so forth, your vice president will go in, do a couple of clicks, and confirm and approve and move to the next stage all of everyone's entries. So when you initially make an entry, it will be in draft status. If you look at an item and it's in completed status, that tells you that your vice president has approved it and moved it into that next stage there. In the event that you need to edit an entry, you can only edit entries in draft status. But if an entry is in completed status, simply contact your vice president. Your vice president can either, a couple of clicks, they can either change it back to draft status, or if you've given them enough information, they may just change it for you. Okay, so that's how editing is done. Now, when you do click the edit button for an entry that is in draft status, another window opens up and reveals this information. You're not yet in edit mode. You can click this button. This is the edit button. When you click the edit button, now you're in edit mode and you can make your changes. Perhaps you entered too many zeros or not enough zeros for the amount. So you click the edit button, make your change. On the other hand, if you needed to delete, this is your delete button. You give that a click and you can delete that entry that you specified, which is in draft mode. When you're all done with that screen, you don't have to hit the browser's back button, but this window has its own close button in the top right corner there. You simply click that X and that will close that window and bring you back to this list. Let's click on Review My Referral Slips again with the date range. Go with the defaults or make an edit and click Go. And this brings you to your referrals given report. So you see here that I gave a referral to Randy, a gal named Pam. It was an outside referral. I told Pam that I gave Pam Randy's card. I didn't necessarily tell Pam that Randy would call. And you can see additional information again to the far right there is the Palm status. You can edit those that are in draft mode. If you need to change something from completed to draft, again, you would simply contact your Vice President. The comments column, though, this is not money on the board, so the comments column was sent in an email to Randy. Randy received those comments, and both you and Randy, I and Randy can see those comments when we come into the screen here. If we need to make an edit, simply click the Edit Delete button, and when you're done, click Close. Let's check out how you would review your one-to-ones that you've entered. Accept the defaults or edit the date range and click Go. On this screen here, listed are the one-to-ones that occurred during the specified date range. If you need to edit, there's your Edit button. And when you're done, click Close. So you've seen a few of the review screens. I'm not going to show you all 4 of them or of the remaining 3 in this video because they look very similar. But you would simply click here to review your CEUs, referrals report, and also very handy is the print your weekly slips. When you click that link, again, you enter a date range or accept the default, and then you're prompted to select table or slip. Now, if you would like to print your referral slips, for example, you would select slip. They will print 6 to a page, and maybe you'll cut them, if you like, with scissors to turn them into somebody, or if you just want to review them on the screen, select table. You'll get a nice, tight summary report. Maybe you refer to that during your I have section to announce the number of referrals you had, the number of one-to-ones. It's a nice and tidy summary report when you select table. That pretty much concludes. In summary, we covered how to log into BNI, enter referral slips, enter one-to-ones, enter money on the board, enter CEUs, and how to review and edit your entries. Now, thank you for watching. On behalf of the Bull City Business Leaders, this is Delisa Lee with DJL Training, co-presented by, in absentia, Brian Scott of Aggie Technologies. Thank you.